Welcome to Chrome 3x15 for Retail, a series of 3 webinars in 15 minutes each to tell you a little bit more about how you can use Chrome in retail. My name is Rajan Sheth, and I'm Director of Product Management for Chrome for Enterprise and Education here at Google. And I'm going to talk to you about the digital disruption of retail and how to adapt. So before we talk about this, let's think a little bit about in-store retail and what role it plays right now versus online. Many of us shop online, but many of us also go into a store. And I think about myself, why do I go into a store and what do I get out of going into a store? In many cases, I would rather go into a store because when you go into a store, you can see the variety of things that you could potentially purchase. You can touch and feel a product and see whether or not it's something that you want. You can talk to people that are knowledgeable about that product, and then when you want to buy it, you can buy it right then and there, and you don't have to wait to actually start to use that product. And so what we need to think about is how do we actually bring the benefits of online to that in-store retail. And if you think about kind of what is there right now that can actually make that experience better and make it so that you can bring those benefits of online to retail, it really boils down to kind of 3 big things. The first is the customer experience. How do you make it so that when a customer walks into your store, they have a set of information that is there and ready and waiting for them to be able to make a purchase? And how do you make it so that you even know them better, so that they're not walking in as a stranger? They're walking in as somebody that has a specific purpose and that you know what their purpose is. The second part of this is in-store marketing. How do you guide that customer to things that make sense for them, offers that might make sense for them, or various other things to make sure that you're guiding that customer experience as they come into that store? And the last thing is the employees. One of the reasons that people really want to walk into a store is that they get that guidance from the employees that are in that store. How do you make it such that you have a great work environment for those employees, and those employees are knowledgeable about the latest and greatest products that you have there? Retail has faced a variety of threats and a variety of challenges over the course of the last several years. And in particular, retail sales per square foot has dropped 24% since 2006. And this is really an existential threat to in-store retail. We need to figure out how do we make retail and in stores more effective such that you can get the benefits out of that and get the customer benefits, but have a much higher throughput and a much higher sales per square foot. So retailers are becoming aware of what they need to change. And I want to focus you on the top 3 things here as people are thinking about this. One is, how do you increase foot traffic in your store locations? And how do you make sure that people that are walking in are getting what they need? The second thing is, how do you reduce cost? And then the third thing is improving that overall in-store customer experience such that the people that are walking in are actually buying things, and you have a much higher conversion rate that are there. And this is exactly what we've been focusing on with Chrome, which is how do we help you build the store of the future to be able to make your store more effective. So first, let's talk about improving customer service and what Chrome can do there. One of the challenges that people face is with sales associates. How do you make sure that the consumer feels that the sales associate is knowledgeable and helpful? So one of the surveys that we saw showed that only 29% of consumers feel that the sales associates are actually knowledgeable and helpful. And if this is one of the main reasons that people walk into a store, we need to be able to improve that and make it so that the consumers feel like they actually get what they need when they walk into that store. And the second thing is that consumers want access to the right tools when they walk into a store. So 66% of consumers cite the desire for a self-directed journey when they walk into the store. So how can we give them that self-directed journey that is personalized for them to be able to let them find what they need within the store, and again, get to the point where the customer finds what they need and purchases as a result of it. So one of the solutions here is to give people access to digital devices when they walk in the store that can bridge that knowledge gap and let the consumer actually guide their own journey through the store. An example of this is what we did with Sears. And so Sears wanted to digitize their customer experiences in their 1,400 stores across America, and they used Chrome kiosk devices to do that. These devices were kiosks where a customer could go and explore a variety of the products that are there within the store, get information that wasn't apparent on the shelf but was available online. For example, measurement information or reviews or whatever it might be, and then work with the associate to be able to purchase and have better customer engagement. And what they found is that it increased sales and then also drastically reduced administration time and increased staff productivity as a result of that. So you ended up with happier customers without the burden having to always be on the staff. A second area is in-store marketing. How can you point your consumers and customers that are walking in the store to things that they might be interested in within the store, and how can you change that depending on the circumstances that are there? So let's take a look at how you can use digital signage to actually create that customer experience. So 76% of shoppers state that they look at a retailer's website before they go into the store. But then only 49% of consumers feel that they receive a consistent experience across all channels. And so getting a consistent experience when they go to the website versus when they actually come into the store. So let's say you want to advertise something on your website and make it a promotion on your website. How do you make sure that when the consumer walks into the store and they saw that promotion on the website, they know exactly where to go within your store, or that they can see that and get that reinforced within the store? A great way to do this is digital signage, because you can update that. So as you're updating things on your website, you can update things in your store. You can actually target it. You can make it so that you're able to actually put different things in different stores depending on the demographic. But in the past, this has been very expensive, unstable, and time-consuming, and then you end up with expensive or dated manual efforts as a result of that. So you put up a sign, but then trying to replace that sign is actually a very expensive thing to do. So our solution instead gives you the ability to have centrally managed digital signs. And we get to the point where a digital sign can actually be less expensive in the long run than a paper sign, and it'd be much, much more effective. A great example of this is Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola had the problem of trying to figure out how do they give their customers better information about their products, and how do they actually promote their products in stores that have Coca-Cola products. And so what they did is they designed an end cap using Coke products and Chrome digital signage to be able to have a signage experience in the store that was able to get that right message to the right person at the right time and drive a sale. This was a quote from Greg Chambers, who's the global group director of digital innovation at Coca-Cola. And what they found is that by putting these signs there, they were able to actually significantly increase the ROI of the stores where they had Coke products, enough to pay for the signs themselves. But then in addition to that, they could do better targeting. They had a better idea of being able to figure out which kinds of information needs to go to which store, and they used DoubleClick as the way to actually push this information to these signs. They could do that dynamically as well. So if they saw a shift in demographic or they saw something else they wanted to promote, they can change that sign at any point in time. They also turned these signs into beacons, and so they were able to actually learn and actually interact with the customer. So for example, they could publish via a beacon an offer, and the consumer can actually pick up that offer off of their phone. And so they have a better interaction with the customer, and they also then know when a customer is actually interested in what they're putting up on the sign. The third area here is how do you actually improve the work environment for employees, and how do you make sure that employees have a better sense of the products that are there and are continuously being trained and learning more. So a few of the things that we found: employee effectiveness means addressing operational challenges. There's a 67% turnover rate for part-time retail employees, and so you're constantly training new people as they come in. And in addition to that, 49% of the stores that we surveyed say that they struggle with keeping employees informed about marketing and promotional activities, especially as these activities change on a very frequent basis. How do you make sure that your employees know about what is that product that you're promoting? What are the new things that are coming into the store? And how do you make sure that they have that information? On top of that, we see that by training an employee, you get much higher output out of that employee. So this was a survey that we did that found that surveyed about 63,000 sales associates, and it found that those who took or completed one training module sold 69% more than those that didn't. And those that completed 6 or more modules sold 123% more than those who didn't. And so by training your employees, you can actually see an ROI and you can see an increase in sales. So how do you do this? Well, with Chrome, we have a solution for this, which is a better way to train and empower sales associates to yield results, and a better way to keep them connected with what's going on with your headquarters so that you can digitize more processes that are out there. A great example of this is with Scheels, where they were able to put Chromebooks in the back of their stores to digitize processes and to make training better for their employees. And they paired it with G Suite so that a customer or a sales associate can go into the back, log into a Chromebook, and get an experience exactly designed for them. They're able to get their training through it, but then they're also able to be able to do a lot of processes that they had to do via paper in the past. There are a couple of very interesting things that they found with Chrome devices here. First, the Chrome device is very easily shareable. I can be logged into a Chromebook, but then I can shut it off and somebody else can come and log in. And within less than 10 seconds, they're able to get into their space and be able to be effective almost right away. All of their data is protected from each other as well, too. And so even if you have sensitive data that one employee has, it's not going to be mixed with sensitive data that another employee has. So they get a personalized, secure experience no matter which Chromebook they log into. You can have a few Chromebooks in a store and share it amongst many employees. The device management and the provisioning are all very simple as well, too. You can manage these Chromebooks from one centralized web-based console. And so you end up with savings of over $200 per device in the case of Scheels versus alternative solutions that are out there. And then, of course, you end up with a better experience for customers. You end up with sales associates that are better trained. You end up with sales associates that have more knowledge and are able to help a customer in a better way. So the key takeaways is by doing these 3 things, you can actually make your store a lot more effective. First, by giving customers access to devices and to more information. Second, by making your signs digital and making it such that you can more rapidly update and interact with the customer. And third, by using technology to train employees and take processes that used to be paper-based and move them online, you can make your store more effective. So if you'd like to speak to Google about this, go ahead and go to this link and get in contact with your Google sales rep. And then also tune in tomorrow for more about Chrome in retail, where we can tell you a little bit more about how to digitize your retail business with Google Chrome. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next webinar.